Yes, sir.
Question for Charles. I believe your company is working with a group of insured clients and giving telemedicine as a value-add service to them. I wanted to relate how telemedicine is impacting health insurance. So, has there been any study done to that group of insured people to whom you are providing telemedicine with respect to the effect of telemedicine advice or the downloads on the claims that are getting generated by that particular group with respect to frequency and the average claim size?
Yeah, thanks, Islam. See, we do business, we have telecom operators, we have insurance companies. So I'll tell you about the insurance company. For insurance company, the pre-qualification of the beneficiary is a huge headache. It typically takes about 10 days, 15 days, and people get insured. They got to go to the doctor, they got to go to the hospital, they got to go to diagnosis center, they do all kinds of things. And by end of 10th day, A, either the person just loses interest, B, the paper will get lost, and the cost of doing this is huge, and it takes 10-15 days before you get insured. So the program we launched was, we have a dock on the, if you saw the two-wheeler, and we have two-wheeler in the back like a pizza box. We have a computer and all the vital signs equipment, and the insurance company will give us about 50 beneficiaries that we have to go. We send our paramedics in there. The paramedic will take the computer, plug it in, put all the vital signs, and press a send button, or software send this to a real doctor sitting in the call center 24/7. On the spot, doctor will tell you whether you're qualified, not qualified, what are your problems, whether you are, how should be insured. All the information will be done right on the spot. And then immediately our doctor will send this to the insurance company saying, here is the verifications complete. And if you have to draw blood or urine, the urine test you could do it on the spot. Blood will drop at the diagnosis center. The evening we collect the data. Within 24 hours, we'll finish your qualification. Now we are doing this in Chennai next week. And I think that's one way of solving the pre-qualification problem, which is a very important one, and it gets done in 24 hours rather than 15 days using telemedicine. So that is what I was talking about. Telemedicine by itself will not work. Telemedicine integrated with some value-added solution beginning to start making business sense. And that's why I learned in the last 2 years in India. The second one is Apollo Munich signed a contract with IBM. And IBM, if they want any advice for 24/7, they say you call my company and we'll provide the advice to them for any kinds of question they have. That's how they manage the enterprise like IBM. The third one is now insurance companies are insuring diabetic patient, hypertension patient, and when they insure them, they tell them, we will insure you even though we know you got a problem, but you have to use this company 24/7 on an ongoing basis. You have to call them at least once a day. So we send SMS so that we manage and maintain the diabetics before it deteriorates and costing more expenses for insurance company, and we put them on maintenance more with the advice, with the SMS, with the IVR, calling them, outgoing call them, coaching them, and we call them sugar clinic. We kind of keep them going in a good spirit, so the cost of insurance company goes down constantly. Right?
What is IVR?
IVR is an interactive voice response. It's like a computerized thing. So these are the 2 or 3 packets. So when we do that, basically we see the impact is the cost. As long as we bring the cost of the insurance company using technology. These 3 what I mentioned to you, Aslam, is there, it's working, and we have clients who do that. So that's some of the, we got more examples. These are
Questions.
examples.
As a consumer, is it only the faith that you're telling me that I'm being held by a MBBS doctor, or is there any mechanism involved in it? Because, the first question, sorry, the first challenge is how do convince that I'm not being befooled? Because there are common diagnostic purposes or procedures like headache, cough and cold can be tackled by the paramedics as well. I'm not denying that they would not handle it well. I'm saying that how do you convince your customers? And secondly, if I'm being given some consultation, post-consultation, if I have some complication, it could be allergic, it could be medical related, or it could be unrelated. How you are, answerable, or how do you handle that situation? Maybe you might not have faced, but how do you see to handle that situation so as to take this maybe project forward?
So, two questions. The first question is, what does the consumer get, and how is the consumer convinced that they're speaking to a physician? So, what the consumer gets is, there are, again, like you said, there are pretty standard phone triage protocols. We are, how we are different is that we sell to the consumer and we ask the consumer to pay before they access the service. And the only way we can do it is by convincing them entirely. We give them a trial so that they can call and speak to a doctor first. Like all of you can get a trial right now by SMSing that number. So we give them a trial, make sure they understand what the service is. At any point, they can ask the physician for their state registration number, which they can take to a police station, or they can take to the medical council website and check whether the physician is registered. So there's nobody so we don't have nurses or paramedics because I don't think India produces any paramedic. I mean, I don't think there's a paramedic certification course that works in India that produces people of the quality that I can hire. Nurses are not taught to practice. Nurses in Africa practice. Nurses in India don't practice. So for me, it's very hard to operate with anything but physicians, in spite of the protocols. So we have protocols, which are again, standard protocols, which Mr. Anthony also uses. And in spite of them, I still think that we need doctors. So we have doctors on the phone who will happily give you the registration numbers. Please check them with the state boards. The next question was, can you repeat the second question?
Medical.
Right. So what we do, again, with these phone protocols, what we do, the first thing we do is that we triage for any life-threatening emergency. We tell the patient that this is not an emergency line. We connect them to an ambulance service. We operate in Bombay. There's 129, which is a great ambulance service with a paramedic on board. And then ask them to, and then once we've connected them to the ambulance service or they're moving towards a healthcare facility, either an ambulance or in a taxi, we call them back and give them first aid advice. But the first thing to do in a life-threatening emergency is to make sure that the person's moving towards a healthcare facility, which is what we ensure first, and then we give them first aid advice.